Senator Chuck
Yes.
Charles
Yeah.
Schumer,
Yes.
otherwise known as incorrectly known as Shomer Schumer. He called for new elections in Israel
Oh, I see. He
that would result in a
he
more
feels it's his
moderate government.
he feels it's his prerogative to decide when we should have
Well,
elections.
again, remember why Gantz was ordered to Washington. Okay, this is all playing. I mean, I'm looking at this feed. I mean, it's happening right before our eyes, and with this new
That's
intelligence
no,
report,
it's obvious this is not coincidental, but it's also not coincidental, and this must be mentioned that according to a poll that I saw last night, which is by the most credible, with the best, and that has the best track record of any polling public relations firm in the country, called Direct Polls, I think it's called.
correct.
According to their most recent poll, both Netanyahu and the right in general in Israeli politics are gaining strength. In other words, whether the Americans actually believe that Netanyahu's position is precarious, whether they actually believe in the possibility of massive unrest erupting across the country, as we actually had a year ago, it should be pointed out, for different reasons, although it's all the same reason, because the fanatical, self-hating Jewish woke left is
Losing control.
Suffers from Bibi
Derangement syndrome.
derangement syndrome. Exactly. Thank you. BDS. It's a BDS. There you go.
Oh my
BDS.
God, you're right. BDS. Okay,
Bibi
you coined it.
derangement
You
syndrome.
coined it.
Okay, I take credit for that one. I just came up with it now. So they suffer from true BDS. Netanyahu is just a red rag for them in front of a bull, enraged bull, and that is because he has not divested himself completely of any Jewish identity and pride. It goes without saying that someone like Ben Gvir or Smotrich or someone like yourself, perhaps myself, we enrage all these people and all the various Jew haters around the world. That goes without saying. But
Thank God.
but even Netanyahu, who I believe, to the best of my knowledge, like his father, that's why I say it's the best of my knowledge. I assume he's the son of his father. His father was clearly an atheist. That's very clear from his father's books, his historical writings.
Yeah.
Ben Zion Netanyahu. I've read some of his works, and it comes through very clearly. It seeps through the pages almost that he was a
especially for what
he was a nationalist. He was a nationalist and a Zionist, but he was not at all imbued with any real connection to Jewish or tradition or any spiritual content, whatever.
At all.
So they are motivated by one thing: get rid of Bibi, and they think that will solve their problem, but it's not going to solve their problem. And we saw this also last week. There were recently local municipal elections around the country in Israel, and there too, all the parties and candidates that were running on the anti-Bibi, anti-right, anti-Jewish tradition, anti-Jewish states,
anti-victory
platform, almost not one of them, almost without exception, they were roundly defeated. These parties and candidates were supported by Lapid and by Meretz and all kinds
of the Kaplan Brigade.
The Kaplan Brigade, which is another way of saying George Soros and the New Israel Fund and all the rest of them. And all these candidates and parties collapsed all over the country, not just in right-wing religious communities, in Tel Aviv, in Haifa, in Modi'in, everywhere you look, this is what happened. And now this recent poll just serves to confirm this, that the Israeli electorate is shifting to the right and shifting towards a more pro-Jewish identity position. In other words,
but I understand that he's never been able to pull the trigger, so to speak, but he reads polls. We had this discussion in our last podcast. This is why Bibi, who, as we discussed in our last podcast, is probably the most expert analyst or assessor of polls in this country, should seize the opportunity to simply finish off Hamas and to tell the poor guy, allegedly poor guy, in the way, I don't care where, and we're coming, and you have two choices: get to the American temporary pier that's going to be created, so stay on the beach, or go to Egypt, cross their border, their demilitarized zone. But we're coming, and to finish it off, just finish it off, and then we can get on with other matters at hand, such as the territories and the North.